Imagine a young woman walking through the gates of the Warsaw Ghetto in 1942, heart pounding. Everywhere she looks, there are starving children. To most, this was a place of despair, but to Irena Sendler, it was where she would risk everything to save lives, one child at a time. This is the story of a Polish social worker who defied Nazi rule, who smuggled out more than 2,000 Jewish children from certain death, and who almost disappeared from history for decades. Irena Sendler was born on February 15, 1910, in the small Polish town of Otwock near Warsaw. Her father, Stanisław Krzyżanowski, was a doctor, but not just any doctor. He was known for treating poor Jewish patients when others refused. When he died of typhus in 1918 after catching it from one of his patients, Irena was only 8 years old. That act of compassion would shape her entire life. Later, she would often say that her father's lesson was simple. If you see someone drowning, you must try to save them, even if you cannot swim. As a student at the University of Warsaw in the 1930s, Irena openly opposed anti-Semitic policies. When Jewish students were forced to sit separately in lecture halls, a system called the ghetto benches, she protested. By the time war broke out, her moral compass was already set. When Nazi Germany invaded Poland in 1939, Irena was working as a social worker in Warsaw's Department of Social Welfare. She began helping Jewish families early on, forging identity papers, providing food, and finding shelter for those targeted by the new regime. But in 1940, everything changed. The Nazis sealed off the Jewish quarter of Warsaw with barbed wire and brick walls, the Warsaw Ghetto. Over 400,000 Jews were trapped inside, cut off from the outside world. Irena knew she couldn't turn away. Using her social worker's pass, she obtained permission to enter the ghetto officially to conduct sanitation inspections. In reality, she was part of Żegota, the underground council to aid Jews, organized by the Polish resistance. It was here that she began one of the most daring humanitarian missions in history. Inside the ghetto, Irena met families desperate to save their children. She worked with a small group of trusted helpers, priests, nuns, nurses, and volunteers. Together, they developed countless methods to smuggle children out. Once outside, Irena forged new identities for them, Polish names, Christian birth certificates, and placed them in orphanages, convents, or with sympathetic families. But she didn't want their real identities to be lost forever. So she carefully wrote each child's original name and the name of their new guardian on slips of paper. She placed them inside glass jars and buried them beneath a tree in a friend's garden, hoping that one day, after the war, those children could be reunited with their families. She would later say, "Every child saved with my help is the justification of my existence on this earth and not a title to glory." By 1943, she had helped rescue approximately 2,500 children, but her luck could not last forever. On October 18, 1943, the Gestapo arrested Irena. She was taken to the notorious Pawiak prison in Warsaw. For weeks, she was brutally tortured. The Nazis demanded names of the children, of her helpers, of the families hiding them. She gave them nothing. Eventually, she was sentenced to death, but the underground network she had helped build came to her aid. Żegota managed to bribe a German officer, and she was released on the day of her scheduled execution. Officially, her name appeared on a public list of those executed, so she lived the rest of the war under a false identity. When the war ended, Sendler dug up the jars and gave the lists to Jewish community leaders, but few parents survived to claim their children. She returned quietly to her social work, helping war orphans and the elderly in post-war Poland. Irena never sought fame. She lived modestly, almost forgotten. In 1965, she was recognized by Yad Vashem as righteous among the nations, an honor given to non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jews during the Holocaust. Still, few outside Poland knew her name. Decades later, her story resurfaced. In the late 1990s, a group of high school students in Kansas researched her life for a school project called Life in a Jar. Their work gained international attention, and Irena Sendler, then in her late 80s, finally received the recognition she had never sought. In her final years, she was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. When she died on May 12, 2008 in Warsaw, tributes came from around the world, but perhaps the most fitting words were her own. Heroes do extraordinary things. What I did was not extraordinary. It was normal. Today, the children she saved and their descendants live across the world. Her jars of names, buried in the dark, became symbols of light, proof that even in humanity's darkest hour, compassion can survive. Irena Sendler didn't just save lives, she preserved hope, one child at a time.